Hello. Today we'll go over creating a search string in PubMed. The question we will use as an example is, in patients experiencing late-life depression, what is the efficacy of antidepressants compared to psychotherapy? The key words in this question that will carry over to our search are patients experiencing late-life depression, antidepressants, and psychotherapy. To hop into PubMed, go to library.wayne.edu/Schiffman. Under the Resources section, we will see the link for PubMed at Wayne. Click on that link. Depending on your location, you may need to enter your Access ID and password. Once we are in PubMed, we'll click on Advanced Search to begin building our search string. This is not the only way to build a search string in PubMed, but it's the way we'll focus on for this video. As we build searches for each term, we will use the Boolean operator OR to tell the database that we are looking for this word or that word, that our search does not need to contain both or all of our terms. This is to find synonyms. You may also use truncated searches, like the asterisk at the end of a word, to ensure the longer versions of that word are included. For example, putting an asterisk at the end of depress will indicate to the database that we want to search depress, depressed, depression, any word that starts with depress. Once we create our first search for our first keyword, rather than hitting search, we will choose add to history. This will allow us to combine our searches later. We'll build our individual searches for each of our terms using a blend of plain language keywords and mesh terms. Plain language just means the ways you're already familiar with searching in databases or search engines like Google. In addition to adding only our keywords, we can type a keyword and click on Show Index under Add in order to see comparable mesh terms. Using the Show Index function when building a search is worthwhile to see other terms that you may not have yet thought of. As a reminder, MESH stands for Medical Subject Headings and is PubMed's controlled vocabulary of terms that articles are organized by in order for increased consistency in searches and increased discoverability. In other words, mesh are keywords that PubMed assigns to articles. The benefit of using mesh terms is that the database will also search other known associated words because those associations are pre-built into the mesh index. For example, if I'm searching aged, which is a mesh term, the index will automatically also include the associate terms, like elderly, into the search. In addition to mesh terms, we may need to also use keywords. There may not be comparable mesh terms. A comprehensive search string will also often contains both mesh terms and plain language keywords. Once we've built our searches for each concept, we will click on the three dots under Action and select Add to Query for each search that we want to include. We will again use the Boolean operators here, remember, and, or, not, to tell the database how we want our searches included. This will combine our individual searches into one longer search string. As many features as databases have, it's helpful to think of them as very simple, that it does not intuitively know what we are seeking. Using tools like Boolean operators, wildcard searches, and built-in options allow us to more clearly indicate to the database what we are seeking. Now we see our initial results. Let's choose an article relevant to our search and scroll down to the mesh headings. This is an effective way to scan for keywords that you may not have considered during your initial search. For this article, I see drug therapy as one of the terms applied to the article. I believe this term will enhance my search. Now, let's pretend we repeated this step through multiple articles. Now that I've scanned for additional search terms, I'm going to go back to my initial search and adjust my search string accordingly. I will copy and paste my previous search into the search box, then add my new terms using Boolean operators. In this case, I will stick to OR because again, I'm still looking for like terms to ensure my search is grabbing the specific research that I am seeking. Now, I will go back to the Add Query step and conduct my search again. Back in the Advanced Search field where we previously clicked Add to Query, I would like to check out one of our search strings. In the bold text, you see what I manually typed in the search bar. When I click on that bold text, it then drops down and displays the back end of what is being searched when we clicked Search. This is a visual of how mesh terms increase the volume of your search by the connections between the terms. Viewing this backend search is useful for a few reasons. You may want to take note of what is being searched if you are writing up a summary of your search process later. Additionally, you may see terms that are being included that are junking up your search. This is a good place to start when you're trying to narrow down how those searches are making their way in there. It may be attached to a mesh term that you were unaware of, and this is a good place to see if that is true. As you build your search strings, especially for a larger project, it's helpful to keep the following tips in mind. Create and maintain a Word document that has the various iterations of your search strings. This is helpful if you realize a previous search worked better than your current iteration and you're trying to retrace your steps, or if you have to do a write-up of your search strategy. Additionally, check out resources like Systemic Review Accelerator Polyglot for search translations into other databases. You may still need to make adjustments, but this will likely save you time long-term. And finally, create an account in the databases you're using to save your searches there so you can more quickly update your searches and rerun them as necessary. Do you have questions about conducting research in our databases? Please reach out to a Schiffman librarian at askmed@wayne.edu.